I want all of the fans that are in here to know that Blackpool Tower's theirs. You know, the attractions are theirs, it's their town, they are their businesses, and their businesses are supporting their football clubs.
You don't know where your brand's being displayed once you're working with Blackpool Football Club. There's lots going on that we won't see where our brand is delivered to and featured to other customers. I suppose it's like having a silent salesman, really. We've
got to celebrate, we've got to wrap our arms around this club. There are not many other sides, especially in our league, that, you know, can have that kind of connection.
Welcome to the first edition of Partner Perceptions podcast. Today we'll be meeting with Kate Shaun from Blackpool Tourism and Shaun Bennett from Link Signs and Graphics. Hope you enjoy the first episode. Welcome guys, Partner Perceptions podcast. It's our first one today. We've got Kate Shaun from Blackpool Tourism and we've got Shaun Bennett from Link Signs and Graphics. Great to have you with us. So listen, we wanted to talk a bit about your Blackpool FC journey, a bit about your businesses and also the relationship with the football club to date. Obviously both of you have been kind of key players and key partners in that time since I've been at the club since 2019. So Kate, we'll start with you first, if that's all right. So tell us first and foremost a bit about yourself and Blackpool Tourism.
Yeah, absolutely. So number one, Seasider, obviously only one club for me and in our house. But yeah, I look after Blackpool Tourism, which runs from everything operationally, so Blackpool Tower, the Sandcastle, the main attractions, and we also are supporting the Winter Gardens as well now. That's been a recent change. And we also look after Visit Blackpool, which is obviously the destination marketing organisation, encouraging people to come in. So for me, and I'm not going to go into one of your questions later, but it's key because you bring people in and you bring people in to entertain them. And that's my job as well. So the opportunities that brings and being able to showcase Blackpool, because it's a great place, isn't it? And we all love it.
Obviously, Visit Blackpool have been involved with the football club for quite a long time. I know, obviously, you've recently kind of changed roles and kind of come into that equation now with the local authority. Could you just tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, absolutely. So previously, obviously, our relationship started when I was at Merlin Entertainments. Yeah. I was there for 13 years. In 2024, I joined an arm's length company of Blackpool Council, which has latterly become Blackpool Tourism Limited. And as part of that, Visit Blackpool is one of the businesses or organisations we look after. So to have now the opportunity to support the club with both Visit Blackpool and Blackpool Tower is a great opportunity. So we're sort of doing the full 360 of tourism. We are creating those compelling reasons to get out to market so that people choose to come to see us here as opposed to going to other seaside resorts or cities or whatever. And then when we get them here, we're giving them that great experience, that world-class customer service, giving them those memories, opportunities to make those memories in all of the fabulous attractions. And that's not just the ones I run. There's obviously the Pleasure Beach, the piers, the zoo, etc. There's not really many locations in the UK, certainly not outside of a city, that you can do so many different things in one location. And also, when you do think about what cities have got to offer, they're quite far away. So in London, if you want to do everything, you're a tube or quite a walk. In Blackpool, they're all next to each other or a short tram ride away. So as a place to come, it's we've got the lot. We've got the evening entertainment, and we've got obviously all of the fun things to do in the day. So the opportunity when I was at Merlin to talk to you about engaging with the fan base that was coming into town, my mission above everything is to try and get people to come to Blackpool and stay over. Yeah. It's great that people come for the day, but I want them to stay over because they don't get to see everything in one day. And, breaks my heart when I leave the ground after the game and I can see everybody getting on a coach to go away. Stay here because there's so much to do. So, so it's, again, using the Visit Blackpool organisation to get that messaging out, to give people those reasons to actually, it's the game or whatever reason they're coming, that one reason to tell them that there's so many more, so therefore that they need to stay over and extend their stay.
Yeah, I think fans generally, football fans, when they look at Blackpool, when the fixtures come out in the summer, it's like, when am I going to Blackpool for the weekend? Yeah. So that can only be a positive thing for the town, can't it?
Absolutely, and from where I sit, I can see them all with the blow-up beach balls and the lilos and the hats that they've been and bought along the promenade before they've come to the game. So it's like the party away game, isn't it?
Yeah.
We all, when you go to a away game, you always look about what there is to do and are you going to make a weekend of it? Or where's the nearest car park and how am I going to get out?
You probably understand their disappointment if they suddenly get picked on a Tuesday night in the middle of November and they're not coming.
Exactly.
It must be a killer.
Yeah.
Exactly that. Now, Shaun, interestingly, you've played a part and you've worked very much with Kate, formerly at Merlin, now Visit Blackpool as well, because when you walk down that promenade, Link Sounds and Graphics have done a lot of work down there.
Yeah, there's a lot down there, a lot of work we're very proud of. I mean, our relationship with Merlin in particular started in 2010 when the Madame Tussauds Waxworks came to town, and we worked heavily on that project when it was opening. I think the tower was 1 year after, wasn't it? The tower was
it
almost
took a long time to do the refit at the top.
So the relationship was with Merlin was then it's a lot longer than that with Kate in prior roles at what was Leisure Parks many years ago. Something we're very proud of and something we, as a local sign making business, we work hard and to take the old football cliche, you're only as good as your last game. You might have done a good job today, but you've got to do a good job tomorrow and the next day and the next day, and you've got to keep your levels up. If you don't keep your levels up, then they may well look elsewhere.
You've also now, Kate, we've got the Tower as one of the sponsors as well as Visit Blackpool. So we've got Blackpool Tower, obviously Blackpool Tourism getting Blackpool Tower back under that banner. That's a massive coup really for the local authority, isn't it?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, it was the right thing to do at the time when the local authority purchased those attractions and brought Merlin in. Global brands, the world leaders in terms of the visitor experience and making sure that people have the opportunity to make those memories, those magical memories. But where Blackpool became different in terms of the Merlin provision, we added Blackpool to it. I actually said this to somebody last week. There's Northern Hospitality, but then there's Blackpool Hospitality, and it's another layer on top. And we took what Merlin had as a standard and we made it our own. So what Blackpool were delivering, Merlin Blackpool were delivering, was probably something more and better than perhaps other Merlin attractions, dare I say it, around the UK and further afield. And I'm just going to chuck it in, but some of our guest KPIs, our key performance indicators, we were the best in the world at visitor scores for value for money and for guest experience, because we had that extra Blackpool layer on top of it. So that made me immensely proud. But when the change came around, I obviously left Merlin and went to work for the local authority for an opportunity to look at all of their leisure businesses, and they had them dotted around different departments within the council, but to bring them together. But the Merlin deal was never part of it. I started in the August. I just got a call in the end of September from the then chief executive of Merlin saying, did I want to do a deal in Blackpool? And it was, I do. And then we started and, got to the 1st of August this year and we took them back. So what does it mean? It means now that we're not sharing profits, that all of the money is staying in Blackpool to be reinvested, that we're in control of our own destiny. All of the Merlin foundations will always be there because that's the ethos, that's doing it properly. But that Blackpool piece now, we can just really go to town with. And I've gone from, I did 37 years in the private sector. I've done just over 12 months in the public sector. It's quite different, let me say that. But the beauty of it, when I was working for Merlin and previous businesses, and I've worked within the tourism sector and outside of the tourism sector, it's always been about that bottom right-hand corner. How much profit are we making? And it very much was in Merlin. But now, the local authority element of it, yes, I do need to deliver that profit, absolutely. But as important to that is the social value of the business. What jobs are we creating? I want people to stay over, but I also want to make Blackpool a 12-month-a-year resort so that we've got the opportunity to employ people right the way through the year. And it's not just, I start at Easter and I finish at the end of October. So having that opportunity because of the local authority is really good for me, because local people, we are local people. That's what our businesses are all about. That's what this stadium's full of every other weekend. So it's about creating opportunities for those people, but also giving them the opportunity to be proud of their town. And I think we can do that through the attractions as well.
Just picking up on some of the things Kate said there, I mean, working alongside Merlin and the values that they had, I mean, as a business ourselves, we've picked up a lot of, because the standards were set very, very high as soon as they came into town.
Yeah.
You know, what they expected of their own staff, their visitors, and what they felt when they'd left an attraction. And it all started right in the back room in the management office before anything went out front of house. And we would pick up on that when we were going to do work, and obviously we had to ensure that anything we were doing for Merlin, and I'd like to think that's how we work anyway for all our customers.
Yeah.
But you certainly learn a lot from working with such organisations, and it was very helpful to us.
Touching on the tower element on the badge.
Yeah.
Like we said, in the stadium, the football club in the last few years have really taken that.
It's certainly appeared and been sort of signed in many different places around the ground. And it's sort of integral to anything any branding we're doing now. That it's got to be part of it.
It's quite retro, isn't it? The tower brand.
I love
Do you like it?
I love it. Absolutely.
Yeah. I think the owner likes it. To be fair, he quite likes the use of the tower.
I suppose it's always going to be there alongside the crest, isn't it?
Yeah,
but you know, it's the modern day of thinking. It's the tower, really.
Shaun, tell us a little bit more about Link Signs and Graphics.
Yeah,
you've been obviously really integral, really, to what we've done here at the stadium, with how it's changed, how the look and feel, the branding everywhere.
Yeah,
you played a big part.
I suppose from a sign making point of view, there's a very visual story to tell, and you know, if we're able to show social media posts or anything, we've got lots of pictures of what we do, because everything we do is visual. As a person, as an individual, I actually left art college in '76, went straight into graphics in '77 with a local group, Zellem. They're still going. Zellem are now based up in St Anne's. No computers in those days. It was all hand-laid graphics. From there to Grantham's in Blackpool, Grantham's Graphic Supplies, Charnley Road. I was there from '84 to '99, and then worked for a company in Preston, another big Blackpool fan. I worked with in Preston for 7 years, and then set Link Signs and Graphics up in 2007. So we've been trading 18 years this year. Very much a family business, family values, and everything we do matters very, very much, because it's not a business that's here today that's going anywhere tomorrow. You know, I'm at that latter end of my journey with the business, handing over to my son. My daughter-in-law helps run it. My other son's in it. The staff are family. Yeah. The staff are family, and it matters that they're going to be around for a long time. And even more so, you do a proper job, because you know, in 10 years' time, if something needs renewing, you want people to come back to you.
Yeah, absolutely. In terms of the partnership between yourselves and the football club.
Blackpool fan since '71, moved from Garstang to Blackpool in '71. My first experience was, I think I'm right in my memory, that was the year we got relegated, I think, out of the old First
Not
Division.
A great start.
No. But you know, happy times. And I'm fairly certain I can remember being sat round on the cinder track outside here. I'm not sure there wasn't 36,000 people in this ground.
Probably.
One day. Was it Everton? It could well have been Everton, I don't know. It's certainly a big crowd, and and then at half time you could all walk round, you could go to the other end of the ground. It was great days. Only one club, as Kate said, one club for me. There's no. I don't mind watching a couple of different Premiership teams, but it's one club for me. It's simple, and it's Blackpool. The partnership, certainly from a business, certainly getting the brand and the brand awareness, and yes, we get business from it. We do get business from it, and collaborating with other partners is really good stuff. As we collaborate with Kate and the team, but making our brand and keeping our brand out there, which we feel we're quite strong on. It always surprises me when we'll see other sign makers, and they don't seem they're in the game of delivering brand and brand awareness, and it just seems that it's not there. It's just not there. Where usually our clothing, our jackets, our vans, everything about what we do is branded with links, and keeping that brand going is important.
Let's talk about some of the activations that we've done with links, because we've had some fun with that
we have
over
had
the last
some
few
fun.
years,
A couple of seasons ago, I think it was now, we had the idea cropped up that we would have another great signing the link is signs, as in link signs and graphics. The signing was whichever player was coming into the club. We did a little clip of the van turning up at the front door underneath the walkway there, and then that van was on social media every time there was a pre-season. We were looking at players, or in the January transfer window. It created some very comical comments on. Still to this day, people are saying, "Where's the van? Where's the van? And who's in the back of it?" And then one of the staff gets out. They're a bit disappointed.
No, but I think it goes to show that obviously we're taking the kind of business side of it into context, if you like, for promoting the partnership. But you can have a bit of fun with it as well. Would you agree, Kate, with that?
Absolutely. No, absolutely. And we've had some fun, haven't we? With the shirt unveilings, and I'll never forget this season, obviously, with the Blackpool shirt that you did in the circus and the guy with the drone. I was like, I was absolutely mesmerised. I couldn't believe that this little thing was just whizzing round, and the amount of the technology and the amount of control that they had with it. But it was brilliant. So you can have fun. It's that kind of club. I mean, there was something on the other day, and it was talking to ex-footballers about which are the best away fans, and I was waiting for one of them to say Blackpool, because I'm not being funny. We pack a punch when we go to an away game, you know, and they didn't. But yeah, we can have fun in this club, definitely.
Obviously, we touched on the shirt sponsorship. Obviously, must be proud to be associated with that this year. Obviously, visit Blackpool. We've got Blackpool Tower on the third kit. What does that mean? You're a Blackpool fan, but you're obviously an ambassador for the town as well.
Yeah, you know, probably it's a bad thing to admit, but a little bit smug really, because you know, at the first game of the season, when I see people coming up to take the seats and they're in the Visit Blackpool shirts, and I'm like, yeah, great, because it should be, shouldn't it? You know, we've got to celebrate. We've got to wrap our arms around this club. And we've got an opportunity to do that with this. You know, there are not many other sides, especially in our league, that, you know, can have that kind of connection with something as fabulous. I mean, the skyline alone. I mean, nobody else has got a tower, have they? You know, despite the chance and what we can do with it. I have a response to that, which I won't put on your podcast. But you know, yeah, proud, I guess, very proud. And obviously the Blackpool Tower one. I mean, I can remember when we got promoted to the Premier League and the big flag went up, and then obviously with the walk down the promenade, and even the guys working on the steel work were out there, you know, waving and everything, and it was just that moment that you never forget.
I think that's a great point to touch on. Obviously, when we got to the Premier League, which no one ever dreamt that we would, but to see that complete promenade just full of Tangerine was something else, wasn't it?
Yeah. Oh, it was,
incredible. Yeah, certainly something you'd never forget. Just not forget.
But even the build up to it, you know, there were people that just don't engage with football full stop, let alone, you know, their own the hometown club or anything. There were people at work talking about what it meant, and you know how they were going to watch it and all of this, and you know, everybody was taking advantage of selling everything tangerine and white. You name it, there was a tangerine and white version of it.
One of the overriding factors that really sticks with me is what a high the town was on.
Yeah.
Absolutely massive. And it meant so much to so many businesses. It really did. It lifted everyone. It was the talking point for everyone. And a lot of Blackpool fans, obviously, but a lot of fans that weren't Blackpool fans bought season tickets, and we filled the place, and it was just buzzing, you know.
I think it's an important point, that, isn't it? What a football club can bring to the community. You know, I mean, we all know watching Blackpool, it's highs and lows. We get that, but when the highs are high, there's nothing better, is there?
Absolutely, and it's the reason to be proud. You know, and I'm going to take it a little bit left field here, but. Growing up in this town can be tough, and you know there's some situations that kids are in locally, and you know you want to do something about it, and one of the biggest things is just to instill something inside them that actually where they come from can be cool, and you know they can be proud of it, and the club has the opportunity to do that, you know, well every Saturday or Tuesday night, whatever. But when it gets to something like the playoffs and the build-up, and then going to Wembley, and you know that result. I mean, we all remember it. We've all got our own stories and all of that. But the feeling of the euphoria and the lift, and you know, when I always took my dogs on the beach every day. All the kids playing footy on the beach were like, you know, United shirts, Liverpool shirts, whatever. All of a sudden, they're all wearing Tangerine because, you know, their hometowns in the Premier League. So the lift was just, it's so much bigger than the sum of its parts. And, you know, and the strive to always get back there, you know, and I know that's obviously the ambition of every club owner. And, you know, and we believe in that belief internally within the club. But
I think on that point you're saying there, Kate, about what it means to, you know, people. I mean, we're very fortunate that we come every week, every time we're home, and sometimes away. And I never lose the fact that you see a little boy or girl come in for the first time, and what that means and how much that leaves in their memory for a long, long time. You know, yes, we'd like them to buy into the club and keep coming again and again and again, but I never take it for granted that I come every other week. I don't, because it means so much to me to be here.
It's also, I know you come to the game with your family. Everyone's involved in it, aren't you?
Yeah.
Your grandkids and that as well, which is a big family day out, isn't it?
For us, it's very important. It's A, they love doing it, and B, spending time together. And obviously for us, we're in the Matthews Suite, and you know, as a business and from a networking and seeing people and people that we're already partnering and collaborating with that are involved with the club, it's great.
Yeah, you see them on a match day. Kate, yourself, you sit in that north stand every week, don't you?
Yeah, and I love it. And, you know, going on to Shaun's point, I've seen kids grow up there, you know, and I've seen them coming in as little ones actually not understanding pretty much what is going on and, you know, maybe wandering off halfway through the game and eating the crisps or whatever. And now they're full-on fans and they get it. And you can just see them, and you can see people turning up with newborns now, you know, and you think, oh my God, the journey starts again. So it's ever evolving, and it's, you know, it is that thing. It's the family club. But yeah, the North, and I go there, you know, Monday to Friday and sometimes Saturdays and Sundays. It's pretty full on, my job, and I have to have the face of tourism, and you know, and it's all everything's fantastic and welcome to Blackpool. But when I get in there, you know, I've got 90 minutes where I can just let go, and you know, it's all going on in the North, isn't it? And and I just love the atmosphere. But yeah, go with hubby, and then obviously we know the people all around us now because we've been there for a while. So.
Obviously, we're talking on. Obviously, Shaun let us know when he first came. You said you started coming early 90s. Was it? Yeah.
I mean, I'm married a seasider. My family, I'm not from Blackpool. Moved over, but yeah, near Liverpool way. And everybody and they were all Liverpool, they were all red in my family. And then I came over, and my dad came to a couple of games, obviously, because it was the local side, but then I met and married a genuine, die-hard seasider. Mm-hmm. You know, so much so that we've had FaceTimed my dad from a holiday in the Caribbean. So my dad's put the iPad and we've watched
the game with him.
Yeah. So he is, die hard, but went to the 36,000 games and as pointed out on the black and white photograph, I was sat there, right, okay. So yeah, it was a natural thing for me. I mean, I love watching sport and especially football. So I came along, but as soon as I started coming regularly, I'm hooked, you know, and you can't help it. And the journey that you go on, you know, that build up to getting into the Premier League, being in the Premier League, coming out, you know, bouncing around in that championship and all of that. But, you know, it is a journey, isn't it? And it's a roller coaster. And, you know, you go down so you can go back up again, don't you? So it's all about that and being there and supporting. I guess for me, the one thing, if I could change one thing from a football supporters, it's booing. Because we all make mistakes and we all do things and, you know, go down a path that perhaps wasn't the right decision, but we get to stop it, change it, and you might have to report into a board and say, I tried that, didn't quite work. I've never walked into an office on a Monday morning to a round of booing, you know, and I just don't know what does it help. But anyway, that's
your modern football fan, unfortunately. Social media, everything like it's different, isn't it? I mean, I remember starting watching Blackpool late 80s, early 90s. We had no social media then. It was all the Gazette. It was a phone in. It was a Radio Lancashire.
Yeah, Radio Lancashire.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
it was
absolutely.
The green on the side.
It was stuff like that. Obviously, we've touched on the highs. We've had some lows, unfortunately, at the club, and obviously we know why. Much publicised regime. A lot of people boycotting. But what was the feeling like for you when we got the club back?
Oh my God!
I was on holiday. First day.
The day that the purchase went through was actually my 50th birthday.
What a present that was.
And there was a flag up with the date on it, until you redecorated. And every time I came, I thought, oh, yes, just celebrate. It's obviously there to celebrate my big birthday, Shaun. But, oh, God, it was just, again, it's like the fairy tale, isn't it? You know, and I can remember being outside the club talking to a few people, and I said, this is the stuff. It is a Hollywood movie story. And also, when you actually do talk to people about it that don't know, and, you know, what evolved and what happened, they're genuinely interested, because it's incredible to think how the movement of a group of fans were able to influence to the scale that they did. I think the bit
that sits with me is that sort of starting in the 70s and seeing it sort of really go down and down and down and go up, and then almost start coming down as quickly as we've done all that. You know, but that's the journey, and we're all still here, and we will all still.
And I think, listen, from my point of view, I've been a Blackpool fan on the periphery as a fan on the outside of it. Yes, I've worked in football, but when I came back in 2019, my first task was all about reconnecting everyone again, because people weren't connected. So, you know, hospitality, sponsors, businesses, they weren't invested. Obviously, Simon's got involved, takeover happened. And that feel-good factor came back to the club, didn't it?
Very much so.
So I think it was an amazing time to kind of help rebuild the club. That, and you guys have been kind of.
Well,
part of that process,
you know, being able to see behind the scenes a lot, because we're working here a lot. I mean, what's gone on, and a lot of people out there won't see that. But what's gone on behind the scenes is just incredible. The intensity of the
work, the investment,
I mean,
everything.
Hospitality generally, we had little or nothing, did we?
It's transformed.
You know, and there's so many options, so many rooms now, and so many variations on what the club can offer.
Match day experience. What's your match day experience like? I mean, I know you touched on the north and your hospitality, but you know, what's your kind of general feeling when you come to a match day? What's your feeling coming to a game?
I'm always late. It's the anticipation, isn't it? And I always, first thing I do is look over how leery are the away fans going to be. What kind of banter is there going to be?
What atmosphere is
what's the atmosphere going to be like? And it's just that hope. It's just hope, isn't it?
Yeah.
And you know, you put every bit of energy and emotion into that 90 minutes. And I always come in every single game without fail. We're going to win. We are absolutely going to win. And sometimes I'm right, sometimes I'm wrong. But it's just, anticipation of it, really.
Yeah, I mean, I certainly, I mean, there's a lot of me would still like to be down there in the stands, but the being dragged away from the family and not spending that time with them, which will, in years to come, will be very valuable time that we've spent.
Of course,
and obviously got football mad grandchildren anyway. Them being part of it upstairs and seeing it, you know, they love it. But very much like Kate, the expectation is always that, you know, I'm the sod for putting a bet on us to win all the time, and it's the worst thing to do. It's because
heart rules head sometimes. I get it. Right, listen, we're going to move on to some quickfire questions with you now. Being kind of Blackpool fan, just want to touch on some of these. So, what's the best game you've ever witnessed here at Bloomfield Road?
Anglo-Italian Cup 10-0.
Oh,
wow.
10-0,
okay.
crikey, I don't
Wish
even
it was at that one.
I don't even know about that one. I guess if mine, it's just, it's because it was the double. So when we did the double over Liverpool when we were in the Premier League, I mean, that was just...
Oh, so obviously the first game away, second game at home.
Yes. I think that was a highlight, obviously because of the Liverpool connections,
What's your best moment, though, as a Blackpool fan? I know what mine is, but what's your best moment?
My best moment's got to be watching them winning and lifting the trophy at Wembley. Just lives with you forever.
Yeah.
I think the Adam free kick, and then when they had they sent the ball down and Jilks got a hold of it, and it was just like you could almost hear a from the entire crowd, and everybody was looking at
Brett's toe poke though.
There's been some great moments, hasn't there? But that
and like we touched on before, we might be Blackpool, but we've had some brilliant wins in playoffs. Six playoff wins. No one else has done it.
I think we're with Arsenal the highest scorers in playoff finals.
Well, with the record we've got in playoffs,
good stat, Shaun.
6 wins, which is brilliant. Put you on the spot now with this next one. Who's your favourite all-time Blackpool player?
Oh, God. I'm going to have to say Brett Ormerod. I just love him, you know. And now the fact that he does his punditry, and I just, because he lived and breathed it, didn't he?
He did,
he, you know,
in all 4 divisions.
And he did the lot. He ticked every box.
And he's a great character to get. We get him in on a match day regularly, Brett, and he's so great entertainment. Everybody loves him. So, Shaun?
One of the first people that I really took to, and I've actually stayed with him, is John Burridge.
He came in here, a couple of years ago.
Absolutely brilliant.
He came in into reception a couple of years ago. Right, tell us a little story here. He was at Lytham, staying in a hotel, came for a run, and popped his head in going for a run. Random.
Wow.
On his holidays. Just thought, come and have a look. Can I have a look at the pitch?
Yeah, when I worked at Granthams, Mark, who was the owner, his sister was married to him, Janet. And we went to do an exhibition down in Southampton when he was playing for Southampton, and we stayed with them at the house. He was a real character.
Yeah, no,
I think there's been so many. I mean, obviously I watched Suddick as well, Tony Green. So some classic names, over the years.
Just finally, kind of touch on obviously the whole kind of podcast that we're doing. What would you say about a partnership with Blackpool Football Club? If someone I was out there thinking about it as a local business, regional business, what would you say to them?
In our case, we're small to medium family business. Local business is very, very important to us. It's massively important. We do work outside of the Foul Coast. Very often it's through a connection that we've got in the Foul Coast that takes us elsewhere. The importance of doing a good job, maintaining levels of quality and keeping the brand and the awareness out there. That connection that you don't know where your brand's being displayed once you're working with Blackpool Football Club. There's lots going on that we won't see where our brand is delivered to and featured to other customers. Yeah. I suppose it's like having a silent salesman, really. But keeping it out there, hopefully that when they need something, they'll remember that it's us that's around and can help them.
Yeah, good. Kate?
Yeah.
Bit different for you guys because you're front of shirt, so obviously exposure is huge with TV and all the profile that comes with now as well.
And it's that, and it's the trigger. Part of me thinks that when we're on, a televised game, that there might be somebody sat somewhere, and if somebody's being interviewed after the game, or it's on the backdrop or whatever, it might just trigger, do you know what, we've not been to Blackpool for ages. And when, it's games here before the game, they always do the shot of the tower, don't they? Yeah, they always zoom in, zoom out, and then show the pitch. So the opportunity to advertise Blackpool as a resort, as a destination, the reach to the away fans, but equally as important, and it's going back to that social value piece, I want all of the fans that are in here to know that Blackpool Tower's theirs, the attractions are theirs, it's their town, they are their businesses, and their businesses are supporting their football club, so it's just that wraparound for me.
Yeah, I think that's an important point. That I think obviously when we've announced these kind of sponsorships this year, the high profile ones particularly, that people are thinking that's a really good thing that Blackpool and Visit Blackpool, the local authority, are working together. Tread Track, obviously a fan-owned business. People are really happy with that, and we've not gone elsewhere or down other avenues. I think it's really important. So
I think as Kate was saying there, there's so much that the attractions have to offer. I'm not sure that local residents actually realise what's on their doorstep. There's so much, there is so much, and maybe a lot of us take it for granted. I, because of a passion, spend a lot of time at Blackpool Tower at events, Northern Soul events, and that happens at the Winter Gardens as well. And the two best dance floors in the whole of the UK by far, unbelievable.
Probably leads on nice. We were having a conversation earlier. Obviously, Blackpool Tourism announcing some local offers.
Yeah, absolutely. So we've done a locals discount that's out there. So it's just again making it more accessible to people. And I know the challenges people have. Everything's more expensive for all of us, isn't it? And unfortunately, I'm in the business that is the money that's left at the end of the month decides whether you're going to be able to come and see us. So hugely mindful of that. Really want to get the locals to engage with what we're doing here. And so we've gone live with the locals offer, and there's more to come. And it's about when there's visitor attractions in other locations, the buy-in with the local population is strong. I think in Blackpool it tends to be that's for the tourists because it's such a tourist town, and the numbers that do come in on an annual basis, but those attractions are there for them as well. And we love it, and we want them to celebrate with us. So yeah,
good. So great to have you with us today. Hope everyone's enjoyed the chat. It's our first Partner Perception podcast, so thanks for joining us. Thanks, guys.
Thank you for asking us. Yeah.
Thank you very much.